Welcome to Monday Morning Dharma. Let's go ahead and settle in for some meditation. It may be helpful for you to mm, emulate the mountain as you settle into a meditation posture. The mountain is balanced, grounded, and stable, completely free of thought, silently observing. And to begin, I'd like you to please bring your awareness to the exhalation of your breath. And very gently allow your exhalation to be just a bit longer and a bit more pronounced than your inhalation. Please feel free to experiment with pausing briefly at the bottom of each exhalation. This meditation technique will allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. We can now gently transition into meditation on the inner body. Please become the silent observer of sensations that may start in your hands and your feet in the form of a tingling, perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a pulsation. No analysis is necessary. There's nothing to figure out. Just be the silent observer of these sensations and allow a more tranquil, awakened state of awareness to emerge. still mountain, ancient mountain, awakened mountain. Moment by moment, year after year, the mountain simply observes silently. Snow may fall on the mountain or not. The wind may blow. The sun may shine. Leaves may appear on the branches of a nearby tree, change color, and fall to the ground. The mountain simply observes silently. No praise, no blame, no hope, no fear, no expectation. Be a mountain as you silently observe sensations within your own body mountain. throughout time and space, there is nothing more important that you could or should be doing than being here, now, silently observing. For the last couple of moments of this meditation, please absorb even more deeply into the sensations within your inner body. Now, please gently redirect your awareness. Become aware again of this collection of parts we've agreed to label physical body, and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, becoming aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. And we dedicate all of the merit, all of the positive energy from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely free from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings without exception enjoy inner and outer freedom. May they be happy, contented, and peaceful. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Very nice. Thank you. Frank, may I prevail on you to step out in the reception area and the thermostat is there? The top toggle, could you switch that from auto to on? Thank you very much. Welcome back, everyone. Um, Listen, I just wanted to make a little, give a little reminder announcement before I forget at the end of class. These classes, as you know, are 30 minutes in length. And as such, there's not really time for questions and discussion. Thank you, Frank. So, questions I'm sure will come up, maybe objections to what I say may come up, and sort of observations. Please feel free to email those to me because we don't have time to discuss them in class. Please feel free to email them to me and I'll either respond to you directly or bring them up in class, and it can be a sort of topic of teaching for us. So we are in the life of Buddha. And sort of one other thing, I was reminded of a really, really beautiful book that presents the life of Buddha by Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh, the book is called Old Path, White Cloud. I sent out an email with four presentations of the life of Buddha. One of them was not Old Path, White Cloud. That's another really beautiful one that you may find enjoyable and insightful. Thich Nhat Hanh, what's to not like with his teachings and everything. So Buddha, born in at the time known as Siddhartha Gautama, born into a family of royalty. He was to be the successor to his father, the king of the clan, the Sakya clan. Um, uh, Siddhartha ventured outside of the palace walls and saw all sorts of examples of suffering. Um, Aging, sickness, death, which prior to that, the story is told, he had been completely insulated from. I didn't realize these were things at some level, at least not within the context of samsara. And I talked about the translation of samsara, cyclic existence, aging, death, sickness, aging, sickness, death, rebirth, aging, sickness, death, rebirth over and over. Hence the translation of samsara, cyclic existence. It would be good, to the extent that you haven't already, to commit the definition of samsara to memory. Definition of samsara is all of the appearances and conceptions of a deluded mind. All of the appearances and conceptions of a deluded mind. And I'll go ahead and send out that definition via email to everybody on the list. If you're not on the list, please let me know. jeffgoen@gmail is my email address. I'll add you to the list. That short definition of samsara is something that I hope we will contemplate and study and deepen our understanding and experience of. It really is a lifelong journey, coming to understand we're experiencing samsara, but there's a difference between experiencing samsara and understanding that we're experiencing samsara, right? And recognizing it for what it is. You know, all of the appearances and conceptions of a deluded mind. So just like one takeaway from that is that samsara is not a place. It's not a physical location. It's a state of mind. And that might be edifying for some of us because not the contrary, but the alternative to samsara is nirvana, all the appearances and conceptions of a pure mind or an awakened mind, right? Either way, there's no like nirvana that we go to, kind of like heaven. Like we might be tempted into thinking that nirvana and samsara are like physical locations in sort of Judeo-Christian traditions, place that we go to if we do good things, or bad place where we go to if we do bad things. No, it's a creation of our mind, really, samsara and nirvana. And just the only other point I want to make on this for now, if we're together long enough, we're going to talk about samsara over and over and over as a means of clarifying our appreciation of it, our appreciation of what it is, and strengthen our decision to renounce samsara, to get off of the wheel, break out of this cyclic existence mode. Appearances and conceptions. What the heck does that mean? Conceptions, concepts, sort of concepts that we develop and embrace as being real, as being true facts. Like here is a conceptual, the definition of samsara is a concept, but that's not actually samsara, right? It's a concept that we use to try to know what the thing is. But understanding, having a conceptual understanding of what it is, isn't the same as knowing it, of experiencing it, having an experiential experience. I can't come up with any other words to describe it, right? I can tell you what the definition of love is. Love is a wish for another to be happy. Love, wishing for another or others to be happy. You can say, yes, I understand what that definition is. It's not the same as experiencing love. Yeah. Everyone on this call and in this room who is a parent knows that wishing for another to be happiness is not what love is all about. It might be a helpful pointer, but it's not love itself. The only way we can know love is to experience it. So it is with samsara. We can commit the definition to memory, but that's not a deep enough relationship with samsara, and it'll be a pointer and nothing more to what the thing really is. So appearances and conceptions, I'll have to save a discussion of appearances for Monday or Friday, because I'll take up the rest of our class and not even talk at all about the life of Buddha, all the appearances and conceptions of a deluded mind. Buddha said, I can do better than this. I can do that. There's got to be more to life than this cyclic existence. When the Buddha left the palace, he decided, I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to leave this cloistered existence that I have, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to experience something better than samsara. I think at the time he didn't know what that was going to be, but he said, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how it's going to unfold, but I know that there's got to be more to this human experience than samsara. Yeah. So goes off in the middle of the night, and shaves the hair off of his head, shaves his face, dons the clothes of a monk, a homeless mendicant, they were called in the day, and like looks for his new path, searches for the path that will bring about an alternative to samsara, and he lands on a path of asceticism, lasts on the path of asceticism. And if you were like me, the first time you heard the word asceticism, it's like, tell me again what that word means. I vaguely have a notion. Basically, what it means is like a minimalistic existence on steroids, like you have no home, and you basically subjects one's body to hardship and um, depriving depriving the body of basic necessities, shelter, clothing, water, food, everything. Ascetics back in the day, so I understand, just remained in a state of meditation, going as long as they possibly could with no water, food, shelter, clothing, nothing. No internet, no cell phone. 2,700 years ago, of course, that stuff didn't exist. No, nothing. Yeah. And the thinking behind that was, if I deprive my body, if I starve my body of these comforts, right, then I will kill craving. I will kill craving. And at the time, that was perceived as being the root, at the root of all suffering is craving. I'm going to, through asceticism, purge craving from my body by depriving it of everything. And, the existence that one comes to through the practice of asceticism is limited only by our imagination. I mean, days and days without water and food. You know, India, summers are hot. Didn't take refuge in a shelter somewhere, didn't move. Oh, it will be cooler in the shade. No, none of it. Just destroying the body essentially in the name of destroying desire. Buddha mastered the practice of asceticism, got to a point where he was near death. As you can imagine, the body was about to die, and there was still this notion of two things. One is that Buddha realized, or Siddhartha at the time realized, I'm still not free of suffering. Suffering hasn't ceased. There's still a thread there, but if there's a thread, then that thread can expand into a full-blown samsara. He had that recognition, and he also had the recognition, this one is really important. Who is it or what is it that is experiencing this thread of suffering? Yeah. The body may die, craving may die, but there's still a self that perceives craving, suffering, and the prospect of death. So he realized that he had not landed on a path that led to salvation. He abandoned asceticism and founded Buddha Dharma. But there's a story to that too about how he departed from asceticism, rescued by a young girl who found him dying by a creek bed. So some presentations of the life of Buddha go, and recovered and decided, I need to come up. I need to invent a different path. I know all of the paths that are out there. Asceticism seemed like the last one that had the potential to work. It didn't work. It's incumbent upon me to develop a new path that will free not just myself, but all beings from the sufferings of samsara. And in Friday's class, we'll get into what that path is and the details of the most beautiful of beautiful stories, in my opinion, of how he sat under the Bodhi tree and achieved awakening. So there you have it, you guys. 901. Thank you so much for being here. Yep.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Beautiful day. You're most welcome,
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.